We could all mute, guys. That would save the background noise. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our meeting of September the 8th, 2020. Nice to see all your smiling faces around the table. I had a great weekend, great long weekend weather-wise. I'm just looking out my window here now, and it's just pure blue skies. But then the skies are always blue in the city of Mount Pearl. So nice to see you all here. Welcome to everyone. We got a pretty thick agenda here tonight, but we'll get through it. Okay, first thing I will ask for is a motion to adopt the agenda as presented, moved by Councillor Stoyles, seconded by Councillor Fry. Call the question. All those in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Great. Next is the adoption of the minutes from our last meeting, which was August the 18th. So if I can get a motion to adopt the minutes of August the 18th, moved by Councillor Antle, seconded by Councillor Fry. Any errors or omissions? Any errors or omissions you wish to note from our August the 18th meeting? None noted. Let's call the question. All those in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Okay, that brings us to business arising. Any business arising from our meeting or the action report stemming from August 18th meeting? And if you could you identify the item by the number, please? Some of them may come up later on in discussions, but okay, there's none noted. Okay, let us move on. Just scrolling down through my phone here, guys. I apologize. I'm on a smaller screen here today. That brings us to our proclamations. We have two proclamations here today, guys. The first one is Pulmonary Fibrosis Month. Whereas in Canada, there are 30,000 people who have been diagnosed with pulmonary fibrosis or idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, if the cause is unknown, with many more still waiting to be diagnosed. And whereas pulmonary fibrosis is little known, progressive, and potentially fatal lung disease that causes scarring in the lungs and shortness of breath, depriving the body of oxygen. And whereas people living with pulmonary fibrosis and idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis could benefit from early diagnosis and treatment to slow down and in some cases stop the progression of the disease. And whereas pulmonary fibrosis affects not just individuals, but their families, their friends, employers, and communities, and are often given little attention or concern by the general public, the general healthcare system, and elected and appointed public policymakers, resulting in inadequate priority being given to the disorder. And whereas the Canadian Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation has designated September as Pulmonary Fibrosis Month and urges increased effort and action intended to improve access to quality care, support research into new and improved treatments, and provide support services to improve the quality of life for those living with pulmonary fibrosis and idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis and their families. While medications and therapies can ease symptoms and improve the quality of life for some, others may require lung transplants. And therefore I, Deputy Mayor Jim Locke, do hereby proclaim September as Pulmonary Fibrosis Month in the city of Mount Pearl. And we will have this proclamation signed and forwarded to the Canadian Pulmonary Fibrosis Foundation. Any members of council wish to speak to this proclamation? No? Okay. Let us move on then to our second proclamation, and this is Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month. This month, we recognize those who have died and offer support to those who continue to fight for their lives. Whereas the Canadian Cancer Society estimates that close to 3,000 women and girls of all ages will be diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2020, and that 60% of these women and girls will not live to see 5 years. And whereas ovarian cancer is the most fatal gynecological cancer in Canada, and yet the survival rate of women diagnosed with ovarian cancer in Canada has not changed in 50 years. And whereas early detection of this disease remains the best way to save lives, however, there is no reliable screening test for ovarian cancer. Symptoms include abdominal pressure or bloating, digestive problems, excessive fatigue, frequent urination, and changes in bowel habit. And whereas the Women of Hope group was created in 2016 and now has over 2,600 members worldwide, the group's mandate is to offer support for affected women, their families and friends, and to raise awareness for ovarian cancer and encourage the Teal movement. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Jim Locke, Deputy Mayor, together with my colleagues on council here, do hereby proclaim September as Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Mount Pearl. And we'll have this proclamation signed and forwarded to Miss Susan Glynn, the founder of Women of Hope. Any council members wish to speak to this? Councillor Rental, please.
Not so much to this, but ovarian cancer. My sister-in-law is an ovarian cancer survivor.
Oh.
And she's with the Bells with Balls Association here in Newfoundland. And on this coming Saturday, I'm going on a motorcycle ride in support of ovarian cancer. I'm very much looking forward to that. Usually they have big rides every year, but this year it's only can go in small groups. So as far as I know, we're going in multiples of small groups to Brigus. So for a nice quick run on Saturday, and I'm sure you'll see lots of people out supporting ovarian cancer.
Very nice, and let's hope the weather cooperates for you. Councillor Fry, you wanted to make a comment, please?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Rental.
I just wanted to make a couple of comments here because when I first learned about this group, one of the things that surprised me is that there are no real tests for ovarian cancer. I think a lot of women assume that when they get a Pap test, then that covers all of these types of cancers. So this particular group, the Women of Hope, was set up by Susan Glynn. She founded it. She is a ovarian cancer patient, and she's just now going into round 50 of her chemotherapy. And when she first was diagnosed, she noticed that there was no real support group. There was no screening test. And this is what motivated her to start the Women of Hope. As Councillor Antle mentioned about Bells with Balls, which is also a great ovarian cancer organization, the difference here is that Women of Hope is a support group. They don't solicit fundraising. They are there to support other women. And not just women, because something else too that I recently learned is that this particular disease can affect young children as well. There was a little girl, 9 years old, from Newfoundland a number of years ago that passed away with ovarian cancer. So this is a really, it's something that needs to be more, people need to be more aware of it and watch your bodies because there's no screening test. Women need to be more aware of the symptoms. And that's what Susan Glynn has done, along with her cancer doctor, Dr. Papaduke. They have developed a poster. It's called 4Bs. And I think we've brought it here a couple of times. And it describes the different symptoms of ovarian cancer. So I have tremendous respect for Susan and all of her efforts, because she really is getting the word out there and making people aware. She's one person, and she started this group, and now this group is gone worldwide. Her posters have gone worldwide. She's got teal ribbons on all of the taxi cabs now. There's posters on the bus. She's got billboards talking about it. On the 16th of September, all of the major buildings in the metro area, including our City Hall in Mount Pearl, are going to light up teal in recognition of cancer, ovarian cancer awareness. So I know that Susan would be here if she could. She has always come into our proclamation signing in person. And I also know that she's watching here today. So on behalf of all of us here at the city, I know that we are all very proud. We're very proud of Susan and the work that she does. We're also very proud to light up our city in recognition of ovarian cancer patients and survivors all over the world, because everybody has a mother or a sister or a daughter or friend. So God loves Susan for bringing awareness to this really, really terrible disease. So that's all I just wanted to say.
Thank you, Councillor Fry. Very, very well said, very nicely put. And we certainly are proud to join the campaign. And like you said, with our new lights at City Hall, we will certainly illuminate our City Hall in Teal on the 16th of September. So thank you for that. Anyone else? Okay, then that brings us to the end of our proclamations. And now we're on to our committee reports. And first up is the Community Development Committee report. And I'll turn it over to Councillor Fry to bring in the items, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. First on our agenda tonight is the development permit, which is it's a request to renew a development permit at 166 Park Avenue. The city is in receipt of a written request by Carwood Contracting Limited to renew the existing development permit, which was issued on September the 14th, to develop land and construct a new 48-unit apartment building at 166 Park Avenue. The committee supports the request by the applicant to renew the permit for a period of 1 year, with a new expiry date of September the 14th of 2021, with the standard condition that if the building permit has not been obtained and construction commenced by September the 14th of 21, a new development application is required to be submitted for review and approval. So the background information relating to the file is attached here for your reference. And if nobody has any questions, then I will so move.
Moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Angel, I believe. Yes, okay. Any comments or questions? Councillor Stoyles?
Yeah, I just wanted to say this has been ongoing for a number of years. This is the old school, right? The old Park Avenue School.
Yes.
Correct.
And this is the second time renewing and not changing, but and if this is, of course, this be approved, I'm assuming tonight, but this time next year, if they haven't done the development, they will have to do new drawings and bring in a new proposal, I'm assuming, will they? Because by
Not
looking at them,
necessarily. Not necessarily new drawings. They'll have to reapply for their application, Councillor Stoyles. When the permit is given, it lasts for 2 years, and then our policy allows to grant a 1-year extension. If it's then not completed after the 1-year extension, then they have to reapply. They don't necessarily have to change the design. They just have to seek reapplication.
Yes, that's what I meant. So this time next year, this is the extra year that we're
Correct.
approving, right?
Yep,
Okay,
that's correct.
I'm fine with it. I mean, it'd be nice to get it started. It's been a long time in coming, and hopefully it's certainly a great need in the city for such a development.
Agreed, and it will be a nice addition down there. The layout will blend in, I think, with the landscape down the other structures. So, yeah, let's hope it comes to fruition. Okay, any other comments, questions? All right, let's call the question. All those in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor Fry. Your next item.
Next on our agenda is another permit. Well, it's a potential development regulation amendment. So the city is in receipt of an inquiry by Kingsway Living Incorporated to undertake an amendment to accommodate a 3-story personal care use at 79 to 115 Mount Carson Avenue. So the subject properties is subject to the Kenmount Hill Infill Comprehensive Development Scheme of 2007 as adopted by Council, which outlines the proposed goal, objectives, and land use policies for this area and located within a commercial general use zone. So the committee recommends that the Mount Pearl Development Regulations of 2010 Amendment number 72, 2020-79-115 Mount Carson Avenue Amendment be adopted, and that the amendment be submitted to the Development of Municipal Affairs and Environment for registration. The outline of amendments required to accommodate this proposal, as well as the location map, concept plans as submitted by the developer and notice to the residents are attached for reference. Now, this is a personal care use proposal for it's going up Mount Carson Avenue. Going up is there on the left is a new development, and we put out a notice for any feedback from residents, and the only feedback that I received personally was, where can I sign up? So I think this is something that I'm really excited to see this coming to our city. Is something that we need. And I'm certainly in support of this. So again, if anybody has any questions, and if not, I will so move this.
Moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Antle. Any comments? I think you're right, Councillor Fry. Firstly, it's an attractive looking building here. I think it will have 89 units. So, and certainly a welcome addition. So, all right, if there's no questions, call the question. All those in favor? Contrary-minded, motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor Fry. Your next item?
Just to add to that, there's a theater, there's a multi-purpose room, there's a game room, there's a pool, there's a sauna, so on and so forth. So it's fun to see.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. Just going to scroll down through here. And okay, for the information of public, due to COVID-19, the organizers of Christmas at the Glacier, scheduled for October 2020, has decided to postpone the show. I know it's a sign of the times, and it's unfortunate, but the 28th annual show will now take place next year, October the 20th to the 24th, 2021. I know that's a kickoff for a lot of people for the Christmas season. It's the Christmas at the Glacier. So it's kind of sad, but not much that can be done about it now in these times. Next on our agenda for the information of the public, staff are working with both the Mount Pearl Minor Hockey Association and the Mount Pearl Figure Skating Club on their fall schedules for ice, as this year will look a little bit different than in past years. Guidelines will be in place for the safety of all participants and staff, and that's for the fall ice bookings at the Glacier Arena. Also, we have our upcoming registration for swim lessons. So for the information of public, the registration dates for the fall swim lessons are as follows. The Summit Center swimming lessons, residents can register on Tuesday, September the 8th at 5 p.m. So I guess that's in about 10 minutes. Open registration will be on Thursday, September the 10th at 5 p.m. So residents can register today at 5 p.m. and then open registration will be on Thursday, September the 10th at 5 p.m. And next on our agenda is the development permit listing for August the 17th to September the 4th. So the committee recommends that the following development permit be approved as presented for the period of August 17th to September the 4th. And you can see that here we have a changeable illuminated message sign for Big Cheese Pizza on Commonwealth Avenue. We have an open air assembly use for Park Avenue Pentecostal Church. And we have a change in use for the Courtney Fowler Performance Academy. So do I move that one separately?
Yep. Okay. So
Go ahead.
moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Antle. Call the question. All those in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion is carried. Thank you.
Next, we have our building permit and occupancy permit listing for the period of August the 17th to September the 4th. So the committee recommends that the building permits issued for the period of August the 17th to September 4th, showing a total construction value of $1,974,950 be approved. And further, that the occupancy permit list be accepted as presented. And there are too many here to list, so I'm just going to let you guys have a look through, and I so move.
Moved, seconded by Councillor Antle. Questions, comments? All those in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion is carried. I think, Councillor Fry, in our scrolling, we may have bypassed the number 3 item, and that's with respect to Becklin Road.
Okay, yes, I did.
Yeah, I know when you're scrolling down through your phone or your iPad, it's easy to, it all blends in.
All right.
So the
Okay.
Becklin Road, rely on New Tech Canada, NL.
Good. So 35 Becklin Road, rely on New Tech Canada. The development of the community development has processed this discretionary use application as per sections 3.7, 4.17, 4.18, and 4.20 of the Mount Pearl Development Regulations 2010. The department has reviewed the application submitted by Rely on New Tech Canada to expand the existing previously approved firefighting training facility by installing additional sea containers for firefighting training purposes at the rear of the building and relocating a portion of the existing fence on the parcel located at 35 Becklin Road, and recommends approval of the discretionary use application and that a development permit be issued subject to section 7.15 of the Mount Pearl Development Regulations 2010, and subject to the conditions as set out by the Department of Community Development, specifically conditions as outlined by the following. Service Newfoundland and Labrador, Department of Environment, Climate Change and Municipalities, St. John's Regional Fire Department, City of Mount Pearl Inspection Services, Municipal Enforcement, Finance Division, Planning Division, and the City of Mount Pearl Development Regulations 2010 and related requirements. So the background information relating to the file of 35 Beckland Road is attached for reference. And I'll let you guys read through that, and if anybody has any questions. And if not, I will so move.
Moved by Councillor Fry, seconded by Councillor Antle. Any comments or questions? None? Okay, let's call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion is carried. And I
And
think
it-
that's it for your committee report.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Fry. That brings us to our next standing committee, and that's Infrastructure and Public Works Committee. And for that, I'll turn it over to Councillor Stoyles, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We have a number of items this evening. The first one, of course, is a number of them actually is all going to be under the multi-year capital works money. And of course, we've been meeting a number of times discussing what projects is we should be doing with our remaining capital works fund. So we are recommending that the trail wayfinding implementation will be used, and we're recommending that the project is going to cost about $100,000, and under the cost sharing, 70% of course is the province and 30% is the city, and the amount for the city is $34,500, and we're recommending that we will move with this project, and I so move.
Moved by Councillor Stoyles, seconded by Councillor Fry. Any comments or questions? I know since I've been back to school, a number of my colleagues have been walking our trails and are very complimentary of the trail systems, not only walking, but biking them. And of course, wayfinding will certainly help our residents and our visitors utilize our trails even more efficiently. So, all right, no comments or questions. Let's call the question. All those in favor? Contrary minded, motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor Stoyles.
The next one is we're recommending the contract for the 2020 asphalt renewal on Old Placentia Road, and basically is the curbside rock repair on Old Placentia Road, including Delta Drive to Root Avenue to Smallwood Drive eastbound, Smallwood Drive to Richard Nolan, and Richard Nolan to Commonwealth Avenue, and for the 2020 construction season. And this is supposed to be done 6 weeks from the time of the contract was awarded, and hopefully they will start within 2 weeks. I believe they've already started this project because I think we give them approval, and we're recommending the lowest bidder is West Construction, $1,644,562.10, and I so move.
Moved, seconded by Councillor Fry. Comments or questions? None. Call the question. All those in favor? Contrary minded, motion is carried.
Thank you. Next one, design bill recommendation, and this is Badcock Place, and we sent the proposals out, and everything closed. It closed on July 9th, and the lowest bidder was Permanent Construction at $764,290, and they scored 89.5 out of 100 points, and we're recommending that it will go to West Construction. The only problem is they're not going to be able to do it this season, or won't be done until 2021. They will start and get some of the preliminary work done, but it's going to be June of 2021 before this will be completed, or even a bit later in 2021. And I so move.
Moved, seconded. Comments? So this particular project here is going to require or involve the replacement of all the underwater infrastructure, or water, sanitary, storm sewer, and also some of the Newfoundland Power utility assets and infrastructure. So again, it'll be done, the work will be done in 2020, and they'll be itching to go as soon as the opportunity presents itself in the spring and summer of 2021, and we'll get Badcock Place replaced as planned. All right, let's call the question, and all those in favor?
Well,
Contrary minded?
you said
Oh, sorry.
you said Pyramid Construction, right? Were the bidder, the lowest bidder? Pyramid.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, pavement construction.
All right. All those in favor? Contrary-minded, motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor Stoyles.
All right, the next one is change order number 2. So the original contract was awarded to Madigan Paving, and we already did one change order. So we're recommending the proposed change order 2, which is lime painting, markings, reflection, 3M dots. And while they're doing the work, they're recommending that they will do this work during the thing in the amount while they're doing the work up there. They're hoping they're going to do it as they're doing it, I guess, and put the markings in. And the amount is 38,277.75. Because last year we didn't, back in the spring, we didn't do the street markings on Topsail Road because we were going to be doing work up there. We hopefully are going to save this much money then. So we're recommending that this is within budget, and it's going to be hopefully a better system, especially in the winter time and in the fog and things like that with the 3M dots. I don't think is new in the province, but is new for us on Topsail Road. And I so move.
Moved by Councillor Stoyles, seconded by Councillor Fry. Comments or questions? Okay, all those in favor? Contrary-minded, motion is carried.
All right, the next one is the pedestrian underpass. And back in July when it was awarded, we Dylan's consulting had done the work on that, and they felt that it was unsafe. They wanted to do further work to see if it was going to be safe to do the work on it without closing off the street. And they've done that work now, and they're basically saying that it is safe they do not have to close the road while they're doing the repairs. And we're recommending that we will pay for them for their study, and the amount was 11,525.30, and it is within budget. And so it is safe there for the, I don't know if Director Ankle wanted to speak about it. The underpass, we were having a number of issues with it, and the structure and everything there, and it was deemed to be unsafe. I so move, by the way.
Okay, moved, seconded by Councillor Fry. Director Antle, did you want to add anything additional?
If I could add, yes. Thank you, Councillor Stoyles. What we've got done there is the consultant has assessed the underpass, and we have been considering some temporary reinforcement to ensure that it will remain safe for traffic above. At this point in time, it has been determined no imminent concern. So that work, that study that's being considered by council right now and approved, that'll develop for us a temporary system to put in place there, which they've got underway right now.
Great, thank you, Director. So this is the underpass going under Old Placentia Road from Ashford Drive, just for residents, and it comes out on the other side by the track and field.
That's right.
So there was upon inspection on that, there was some corrosion, there was some work done to see the structural integrity of that. It was determined that it needs some further work. They did indicate that it didn't pose any imminent threat to the vehicular traffic on Old Placentia, but they are looking into providing some shoring, some kind of structural support to reinforce the tunnel until such time that we are in a position to actually replace or come up with some fix for that particular pedestrian walkway.
That's right, Deputy Mayor. And in abundance of caution, we've closed the actual tunnel, we'll say, to pedestrian access while that work is being developed.
Good stuff. Okay, thank you, sir. Anything else, council? Okay, let's call the question. All those in favor? Contrary-minded? Motion is carried. Thank you,
All right,
Councillor Stoyles.
All right, the next one is change order street markings, again on Topsail Road. This is Topsail Road Asphalt Renew Project. And of course, the committee reviewed it, Infrastructure and Public Works, and we're recommending change order in the amount of 1462.50. And basically, this is within budget, and this will, I think I said the other one, but this is the one where we're going to be saving the money from Tops of Road on the street markings, because we didn't do it in September. It wasn't the one I mentioned earlier. Anyway, and I so move.
Moved, seconded.
And
So
Madam
no-
Peering, Madam Peering is doing this work.
Okay, so normally we do 2 line paintings, but in this particular case, while the pavement is being laid down, Modern is going to apply the lines. It adheres better to the new pavement. And then later in the fall, we will then reapply our second coating that will then stick to the initial lines down there. And the data indicates that we should get a longer lasting line paint. So that was the rationale for this particular change order.
That's right.
Okay, any other comments or questions here, council? None? Call the question. All those in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried.
All right, the next one is the city identified the need for project management support. And of course, we went out for requests for quotations, and we received a number of them. And the names are all listed here, and who, once the proposals all came in, the engineering department reviewed them all, and the list is all here on the consultants that do qualify. And when the need arises, our department will contact different companies, and there's Els North Construction, Collier's Project, Progressive Engineering, RV Anderson Associates, and Visual Management are the ones who have been recommended to when we request and we want to do projects over the next, for 2021, I guess up until 2022, but no, 2021. And we're recommending that those names will be there for a 2-year period. And I so move.
Moved, seconded by Councillor Fry. Comments or questions? All those in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor Stoyles. Next
All
is
right,
a notice
next
of
one.
motion.
The next one is notion of motion, and in accordance with section 39 of the City of Mount Pearl Act, RSNL 1990 C16, take note that in accordance with the council public notification policy, I will, at a regular meeting of council, move to amend the text of the City of Mount Pearl Snow Clearing Regulations 2018, that if enacted will, under section 8, after persons, add or individuals or companies retained for snow clearing, delete carriers, ways, or sidewalk, and replace with street sidewalk or city-owned land, including citywide open space. And at the end of sentence, delete and replace with, furthermore, although it is acknowledged that winter conditions may result in reduced of sight lines, snow shall not be stored in any way that unreasonable black sight lines or otherwise create a hazard. The section would then read, no persons shall shovel, plow, or blow any snow from a driveway or parking lot onto a highway, street, sidewalk, or city-owned land, including open space within the municipality boundaries of the city. Further, although it is acknowledged that winter conditions may result in reduced of sight lines, snow shall be stored in the right of way, in the way that reasonable blocks sight lines or otherwise creates a hazard. Throughout the regulations may be secondly grant material edited required to effective incorporate. My screen just went off. Incorporate the change described under 1 above. Throughout the regulations, make any other corrections, formatting, regulation edit that may be identified as a typo and which do not alterate any intent of the current regulations. The purpose of this amendment is to provide council with the authority to regulate the cleaning of snow from private properties in order to increase safety on city streets during winter conditions, and to prevent damage of properties from inappropriate snow storage. Dated this day, the 8th day of September, 2020.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and the next couple of items we have is basically for information only. The first one is regarding the nozzle over in Powers Pond, the fountain that we have over in Powers Pond. We put a new nozzle on it because the spray was going too wide, and we had problems with the environment, I guess, because of the amount of animals and birds and ducks and that we have over there. So the fountain has been changed, and the provincial government has satisfactory, and just wanted to let the public know that it is safe over in Powers Pond, and the spray is not going. Actually, I was over there just a couple of last week before I went away, and I got to say, it certainly is making a big difference. It was turned off today. I was there, but I understand it's back up and running and looking really good.
It is looking
And-
very, very good, Councillor Stolz, as you said, and many of the residents commented. They noticed it when it was off, but they really noticed it when it came back on. It's a nice addition there, and I've had the plea from multiple residents that maybe we could enhance it by bringing the lights back. We used to have lights in that fountain years ago, so hopefully in our budget discussions, maybe Ms. Pittman is looking at me and give me that, not now, Deputy Mayor, but maybe we can look at down in the future, adding some of our lights there to enhance that. So thank you for that, Councillor Stoyles.
Powers Pond is a lovely walk, yeah, and for anybody who haven't been over there, they really should take the time and go over and walk. I mean, I couldn't believe how many ducks, and that was actually over there. I had been a couple of years since I had been over there since this summer, and I got to say, it's really, really nice.
Yep.
Bulk garbage started again today, and of course, if anybody depending on the area you live in, you can just go into the city's Mount Pearl's website and click on your street name, and it will tell you exactly the date when it's going to be collected. And during the summer, we had 1,100 bulk garbage pickups, and want to say thank you to the staff for all the extra work that they put in doing the bulk garbage. We certainly noticed a lot of people back when we started doing the phone-ins that we normally do, because we didn't do bulk garbage back in April and May, certainly made a big difference over the summertime, with even more people coming out over the summertime. So I don't know what it compares to last year. I know this year it was 1,100, so I guess any other year would have only been a couple of hundred. I don't know if Direct Rental has the exact numbers, but
Councillor Stolz, I don't have the exact numbers, but I can assure you that it was definitely double or triple what we would normally have taken on. So it was well beyond our normal appointment times.
oh, I can imagine, especially when we didn't have the one early in the year. And of course, the UMT crowd is back, is continuing with the work and getting ready. And we're getting ready, of course, for what none of us want to hear talk, especially on a beautiful day like today, and tomorrow is
That's
going to be one
right.
of the nicest days of the summer. But our staff has and is getting ready for the winter season, because we never know when it's going to come and hit us. And of course, the work underway under the Capital Works projects is St. David's Avenue, Glendale Avenue, Topsail Road, Ashfall Avenue, and Old Placentia Road. And that is it for us this evening.
Great. Thank you, Councillor Stoyles. Quite an extensive report there. And let's hope we're not like Alberta. I hate to say it, but they did see some snow, heavy flakes I saw on the news last night. But then again, we're not continental. We're on the coast with the lovely Gulf Stream off our border. So hopefully that'll keep us in the 20s until about March. And then we'll await next spring. So, all right. Thank you, Councillor Stoyles. Good job on the report. That brings us to our next committee report. That's Corporate Services, Economic Development. And I'll turn it over to Councillor Ansell to bring in this report, please.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Locke. As you discussed, as Councillor Stoyles talked about snow, and we're doing the budget and the near future. Snow has been cancelled for this year due to COVID, so we're good on the snow. All right, we'll see what happens.
I wish it was that simple.
It has to be quarantined for 2 weeks before it lands here in Newfoundland. So anyhow, invoices for approval for the last 2 weeks. We have 34 there for a total of $2,218,646.28. There's a few there that are sizable. One is there for all the paving we're doing here on St. David's Avenue. Councillor Slow has just alluded to $390,000 and change for Modern, and there's another one there for Tops of the Road for $261,000 and change. And we still have our St. John's Transportation for it's gone down considerable. It's for $110,000. I saw one for $20,000. Sorry about that. And I so move.
Moved by Councillor Antle and seconded by Councillor Fry. Comments or
And-
questions? No noted. Okay, call the question. All those in favor? Contrary minded, motion is carried.
And then we have the payment register for the time period of August the 14th to September the 3rd for $2,658,880.39. And you can see them there in their kit from ascending to descending. And the big one there was Modern Paving for almost $1 million for $941,000. City of St. John's, it's our water and fire at $459,652. And our St. John's Transportation, which is our Metro bus, $131,000. And this is only for our information. We don't move this, right?
Yep.
Lessons for
Correct.
your information. And number 3 on our report, and you might have saw it in your kit, we're quite pleased to present the financial statement for the time period of the year of 2019. And if you can review in your kit, there's nothing of no significant notice. We had a great audit. There was no changes. And I'm just trying to find the file as we're talking here, and I'll dig it out now in a second. Just 1 second. Well, get it, Cassie. I know you're starting to worry.
This is usually where they have background noise on, or background music on the radio, right?
Yeah, I had to go for another. I had to go for another file, so it's not working too well. I'll get it now in a second.
Okay, we're patient. No rush.
Oh, there we go. And
There
I
you go.
found it.
Good stuff.
Things look for it. It was our 2019 financial statements, which were done by BDO. This is our second year for them. All right. And I think Cassie just sent it to me again. It just came up. Thank you, Cassie. These financial statements will present fairly in all material aspects and consolidated financial position of the city as of December 31st, 2019. And these are a result of our consolidated operations, our consolidated change in net debt, and our consolidated cash flow for the year that ended in accordance with Canadian public sector accounting standards. There was no issues or concerns. The city is in strong financial shape. The city is in a strong financial position ending in the year 2019 with a small surplus position, resulting from decreased spending and slightly increased revenue against budget. We continue to pay down our debt, reducing our long-term debt by $1.8 million in 2019. And we're quite pleased in how the audit went through. And before I finish off, I'd like to have Councillor Fry. She would like to add a few comments, please.
Thank you, Councillor Antle. Councillor Fry.
Thank you, Councillor Handel. I just wanted to add, that the city's solid financial stewardship will help with what has been a challenging 2020 following the major snow event in January and the lasting impact of COVID-19 on city operations and revenues. We're still evaluating what our position will be when it comes to COVID. And of course, you can't plan for what could come. I mean, there could be a second wave. Whatever comes our way, we'll have to deal with. So it's too early yet to really evaluate that. But because we have a solid financial position from 2019, that will help us go forward. The city has been able to continue to operate, providing services to support our residents and businesses, including continuing with most scheduled capital works projects to upgrade important infrastructure. And it's really great to see because these types of projects are necessary. They're not fun. Nobody likes to be involved in construction, but they're necessary. And I know that this year we were able to get some good prices and that has certainly helped as well. Some good prices on asphalt. There still remains some uncertainty surrounding the impact the response to COVID outbreak will have on our financial results in 2020. And we may experience difficulties collecting outstanding accounts receivable from residents and businesses in 2020, resulting from negative financial impact that the pandemic has had on people in our community. So there are a number of things we need to take into consideration, but it's really great to see that we are in a good position as of right now. And I'm going to turn it back to you, Councillor Antle.
Thank you,
that-
Councillor Fry.
And that's our final report there for tonight, Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Fry.
Okay, so you're recommending approving the PSAB compliant financial statements?
I do.
So it's, oh, sorry, Councillor Stoyles.
That's okay. I just wanted to make a comment on the financial statements, and of course, I'm delighted that looking at the financial statements and everything that we're doing well. But I think what the residents, the concerns that I'm hearing out there is, especially we've had the worst snow year last year with Snowmageddon and everything, and the cost that the cost to the city to do the snow clearing, and that I think that was a lot of the concerns with the residents out there. And of course, the other concern residents is, you know, the cost of legal fees and things like that is going to be impacting on the city. So I'm delighted to see that we're in great financial status, and but I think the residents just want the reassurance that we are doing well and things are going very well here at City of Mount Pearl.
Okay, thank you. With that, will we, oh, Councillor Fry?
I just wanted to say that, you know, we have been managing our money really well, and we've cut spending where we can. And we've ended 2019 in a surplus and also paid down $1.8 million in debt. So while there are so many of these, I mean, your concerns are certainly noted and they're valid, but we are, you know, we're in a position now where we can navigate through any challenges going forward. And it's, you know, we're pleased that we're in the financial position that we are currently in at this point. Again, there's still unknowns, but we're doing okay.
And we did our mid-year budget update there 2 weeks ago. I think, remember, Cassie, it was 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And we did talk about snow clearing and the legal fees. And I think right now we are in good financial shape. You know, we're waiting for money from the federal government regarding snow clearing. Last year we spent, I think, $600,000 on snow clearing for Snowmageddon, and we're waiting for some funding back from that. And as regards to taxes, I think at the last mid-year report, we were up to date on our taxes first half. So the residents, I think it's on our website exactly where we stand right now year to date. If I'm not correct, I think so, Cassie, we put that to or it's in our public minutes, exactly where we stand for year to date. Thank you.
Okay, well, with that, let's call the question. And all those in favor?
Uh,
Contrary minded? Motion is carried to accept our PSAB compliant financial statements. And that's it for your committee report, Councillor Antle. Thank you.
Mhm.
That now brings us up to new business. So let's start tonight with Councillor Stoyles. Councillor Stoyles?
Thank you. I just have a couple of items. I want to say to all the students heading back to school, especially in these uncertain times, that we wish them all well. And it's going to be a different time going back to school. My grandchildren were here yesterday and they got their mask and everything ready. It's not the type of lunchbox now, is the color your face mask, and we're in uncertain times, and I know especially young children must be certainly scared about going back to school, but it's probably the best place for them in the school environment, and I wish them all well and a safe year. Also, I wanted to mention that last week I was in PEI attending the Atlantic Mayors Congress. This has been ongoing, I guess, since 2009, I think they started. And actually, I think I was at one of the first ones that when the Atlantic Mayors started. And it's certainly a place to be for the 4 Atlantic provinces. And the presentations that was at those meetings. I sent them all to Mona, and I see that she has sent them out to everybody. I mean, wastewater is always very important in Newfoundland, especially in the St. John's area, trying to get everything in place and working with the provincial and federal government, getting funding for wastewater. But one of the things that was very interesting at the workshops this last weekend was the recommendations on Airbnbs. And of course, Airbnbs are getting around the past couple of years, and nobody really had any regulations or anything in place. But Charlottetown had worked very hard, and they have a proposal and it's sent out to all council for us to have a review, and I'm sure it's going to go to planning. Very, very interesting on some of the stuff that they have done with Airbnbs. And of course, the Minister of Health for PEI was there talking about COVID and the second wave, and how important it is to be ready for that, and especially for the towns to be prepared and solar energy projects in PEI. I have to say, the place where we had our meetings was amazing. The solar building that they have in place, they're on the racetrack, the casino, and the center there with solar energy. And when I took pictures of it, and when you drive in on the building, it's not a normal building. It's all done by solar energy, and what a spot they have there. And they did a overview with that and a presentation on that, and was it ever amazing what they have done up there. And of course, I've sent a number of other things as well about the Building Canada Investment Fund and a number of other projects. But it's certainly important for us to be sitting at the table in Atlantic Canada, knowing that we're all working together and lobbying the federal government for funds and things like that. And I was delighted to be there to represent the city. And that is it for me.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Stoyles. Next, we'll go to Councillor Fry.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I have a couple of things this evening. First of all, I just want to acknowledge a Mount Pearl native who has been doing some outstanding work. And he is right now in the forefront in finding a vaccine for COVID. Dr. Stephen Walsh is part of a Boston-based team that has done promising research and is in the final stages now of human testing. And he graduated from O'Donnell High School in 1990. And he went on to study at Dalhousie University in Halifax. He obtained his medical degree at McGill University, and he moved to Boston for postdoctoral work. And his father, Patrick Walsh, is with the library here in Mount Pearl, so everybody knows Patrick. And I was looking at that, and we have so many brilliant minds coming out of our city. And it's really nice when you see something like this, and to be able to celebrate it and acknowledge it. So I felt this was very worthy to bring forward, and to let him know that we're very proud of what he's doing and what he's accomplishing.
Nice.
Also, in our last meeting, we were talking about the Sport Alliance Drive-In Bingo, and that ended up getting postponed. It was scheduled for August the 30th, and it was postponed because of the weather, the remnants of Hurricane Laura. So now that is going to take place on September the 13th at Team Gushue, and I encourage everybody to get out and have a bit of fun at the Drive-In Bingo. And of course, it's for a great cause. I'm raising money for our sports associations. I also wanted to draw attention, I know we brought, Councillor Stoyles mentioned it earlier, but the bulk garbage, it's being done by zone, and loose materials must be bundled or boxed or in clear bags and not exceed 50 pounds. And one other thing I just wanted to draw attention to was to ask residents to separate the metals from other materials, because those are collected separately. And some people were concerned that their bulk garbage wasn't collected because the metals were still there, but they do come back and collect it separately. And finally, for me, I just wanted to wish everyone a safe and happy Labor Day. This year, especially during COVID-19, we have to give particular thanks to all of our frontline essential workers and our City of Mount Pearl workers who were there for us when our whole world stopped. So it's a well-deserved tribute to those who work so hard. And no matter what you do, I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Labor Day yesterday. And that's it for me tonight.
Great. Thank you, Councillor Fry. Lastly, now we'll go over to Councillor Ansell.
I only have 14 or 15 things to go through, but we'll get it done. Just a couple of things. I'm sure Pat Walsh heard you, Councillor Fry, and he was ecstatic. Pat sent this information regarding his son, and he brings it up at several times. No doubt he's proud of his son. And I'll move right into the library. The library opened up today on the COVID restrictions. And for all the benefits of the residents, the library is open now, but it has restrictions on the occupancy. So you can show up, but you mightn't get in. But if you can give the library a call or to go on their website, you can find out exactly how that works. And it should work out great for the residents, so especially for some students that do homework at the library. They can certainly jump into the library and get hold of that. Speaking on bulk garbage, just this past couple of weeks, we had a resident call us in one of the areas in Mount Pearl, and people were dumping behind his property. And when we went up, it was a huge pile of garbage that was dropped off randomly for some reason. I mean, here in the city of Mount Pearl, we have appointments, you have times to get your garbage delivered and picked up. When, you know, all you do is call our depot and we'll arrange to get someone to pick it up. But bulk garbage, drop off garbage within the city of Mount Pearl will not be permitted. And what we did when we found this garbage that was just dropped on the side of the road, our MEOs went through the garbage and they found people were dropping the garbage. And where are those people? If you drop your garbage in Mount Pearl and you can find a resident, your address, you're going to get a fine. So please, you know, leave your garbage in front of your property, wait for the time that garbage is to be collected, or call the depot and look for your time frame. But, you know, just don't dial and jump it anywhere in the city of Mount Pearl. And just on a good note, our community gardens here on Forest Avenue are doing quite well. Last year, we had about 30 community gardens here in the city. And my garden this year, you know, I had about my little 6x6 plot, I had about 40 pounds of potatoes. And I had the whole family down, my 3 grandchildren and my son. You know, it was the whole family thing. We had to bring down the family tractor, which is my wheelbarrow, and we hauled it for vegetables. But it was a huge family affair. It was great to do it. My grandson is so amazed when he pulls a carrot out of the ground and he knows he planted it by seed. I think we're going to do bigger and better things next year in the community gardens. And if anybody's interested, just call Sean McKenna here at the city or Jason Collins or his department and put your name down for next year. You know, it's a real opportunity to do stuff with the community gardens. You know, earlier this week, as Councillor Fry just stated, we went for Labor Day celebrations. So thanks to CUPE here in Mount Pearl, they invited us up for hamburgers in the chat. And it was great to get out with our staff to enjoy, you know, talk about it, because they were concerned about COVID. They are our frontline workers. And when you sit down and talk to them, you understand, you know, they were kind of concerned, and they still are concerned about COVID. I mean, they're picking up our bulk garbage, they're picking up our garbage, they're raking our gardens. And we certainly appreciate everything that they do. They do a fabulous job for the city. And last night and all this week, we don't have Super Soccer Saturday because of COVID restrictions. But the Soccer Association has been doing a fabulous job this year maintaining our soccer association. And my grandson plays this year, so I end up down the field a little bit more often than not. But he's only 4 years old. He loves soccer. I'm not too sure if he kicks the soccer ball, but he loves the soccer. So we went down last night, and Robert is the executive, are commended to what they're doing. They couldn't do a Super Soccer Saturday, but they have each kid, all the children show up at different times. It's every day this week. They're up to right now from 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It's a picnic on the field. You bring down a blanket and they show a movie for the children. And they all get a medal, and the youngsters are so appreciative of the medal and everything else. And our soccer association is doing a fabulous, fabulous job. We really appreciate everything they're doing. And that's everything for me, Your Worship.
Hey, thank you, Councillor Ansell. Yeah, my grandson was involved with the baseball, minor baseball this year, and they also did an outstanding job working with the children and socially distancing as much as they could. But they too had little goodie bags at the end of it and their medals and the smiles said it all. So,
Yeah.
so good on our organizations for taking the extra effort to make it a success for our students. Councillor
And we
Stoyles?
should- and
Oh, sorry, Councillor
just
Anton.
one quick, we should commend our staff too. I mean, Jason and his team. I mean, they're certainly working well for our youngsters. They wouldn't have did it without them. I know Jason was called there, I think, many times throughout the week or throughout the summer months to help out, and you always came through. It seemed like, it was a learning experience with COVID. We didn't know what we were doing, and it was always an ongoing thing. So the Soccer Association, they even brought it up to me. Thanks very much for our staff to take care of that. Thank you,
Great,
Jason.
thank you. Sorry, Councillor Stoyles, you indicated you wanted to say
Yes.
something?
Yes, I wanted to mention Mr. Walsh, Pat and Doreen actually live on 3rd Street here in Mount Pearl. They just had their 50th wedding anniversary, and wanted to, besides congratulating his son, Stephen, wanted to wish Pat and Doreen a happy 50th wedding anniversary. I'm the city did a certificate up for them as well, and just thought it'd be nice to recognize them here publicly.
Great, thank you. Well, some of the items I was going to bring up have already been covered. I do want to reiterate what Councillor Stoyles says about back to school tomorrow. Now you're going to see the children, those who aren't taking the bus, they're going to be on the streets, on our sidewalks. They're going to be super excited to see their friends and that. So just a reminder to our motoring public to keep your eyes peeled for our students. I think there's mixed emotion with the students and the parents and the teachers. I've been back now for about a week at the school, and the school is extremely clean. My hat goes off to the cleaning staff at the schools. They've done an amazing job for cleanliness. We have protocols in place, for maintaining distances as much as possible, hand washing, sanitizing, masks, and the like. And just remind people that we're in good circumstance here with, I think, probably 2 active cases in the province. But we flattened the curve so much because of the conduct and the behaviors of our residents, not only in Mount Pearl, but right across our province. I think we did a good job handling this, following the rules of our public health officials. And just a reminder that even though we may be COVID fatigued, that COVID is not fatigued. So we have the success that we've had because of the behaviors that we've been engaged in. So continue to do that. Washing your hands is fundamental, social distancing, wearing of the masks. And I'm sure by adhering to those policies, we'll certainly manage any incidents that may occur. There's indications now in parts of Canada there could be a second wave coming up, but again, we have to be fluid, just like our staff has been throughout all of this event, that they're prepared. We got contingency plans in place, but we have to learn now to exist with COVID. And again, if we maintain the practices that our public health officials have put forth, I'm confident that we'll have a successful school year. So I have nothing else to add. Oh, sorry, Councillor Fry, one more before we leave.
Just one more quick point on the 50th anniversary. We also have 2 other residents who celebrated 50th anniversary this week, and that is Herb and Loretta Jenkins. So happy 50th anniversary, quite a milestone, needs to be celebrated. So happy anniversary to all of them. That's it.
Thank you. And with that, I'll call a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councillor Stoyles, seconded by Councillor Fry. We are adjourned. Thank you, guys.